3, 2.
Playing footy with the boys, taking a mark, playing footy with the boys, smothering a laugh, playing footy with the boys, getting on the sauce, playing footy with the boys, till it gets dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's great to be here. It is a wet, dewy, slippery Tuesday evening in Perth. And after the footy news that's happened this week, boys, I'm a little bit moist myself. Ooh. It's barely touched him. Episode 12. I am Benry, the Kendall Roy of the BTH trio. I'm joined by, as per usual, the Roman Roy of the BTH trio, Corey Daffin.
What?
You're definitely the Roman.
No.
Yeah, no. Well, we know who the Shiv is. It's Joel Brinnick. How are you, buddy?
He's great.
Yeah, I'm good.
Do you understand these references?
Absolutely not. And it is also our 13th episode.
Is it 13? All right, it's the 13th episode.
Surely
My
Joel's,
mistake.
Surely Joel's Greg.
Oh, no, you're not. No, Greg's too big for Joel. He's very tall,
I've
Greg.
got no idea what we're talking about.
We're talking about
there.
Succession. One more episode to go. If you know,
I've
you
gotta
know.
watch 4 seasons of that to catch up. It's a long way.
It'll fly by, mate. It'll
I
fly
can
by.
focus on one.
Highly recommend.
How are we, boys? How's everyone's day been?
Very good. A lot of study. We've got exams coming up next week.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that happening. But I did manage to catch a lot of footy on the weekend.
It was a good weekend
including
of footy.
2 games with you guys on Sunday.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it, Joel? How's your day been?
Look, I just started a new job, so getting my head around that.
Yes.
And honestly, that was great fun on Sunday live
It
stream
was,
with you two.
it
Fair
was.
enough, I wasn't in the best shape.
You were a
Bit of a-
bit hung.
bit of a
You were a
traffic
bit
cone.
hung. I looked over at one point and I think you were passed out, but only like you were limboing out of consciousness.
I
and,
think I was like
Definitely.
36 hours awake straight or
yeah.
something.
So no, you
bullshit.
did well to make it. You did well to make it. I did have to pick you up in my sparkling purple Mazda 6, but we got you there in the end. And
We
thank
did.
you to everyone who tuned in to the Twitch live stream. I think we went for like a fair while. Like it was 4
4+
hours.
hours.
4 hours.
4+ hours of live streaming in the theatre room. It was good. News, though. It's been a big, huge 24 hours of footy, of course. Damien Hardwick stepping...
No. Tom Morris is relevant
Tom
again.
Morris is relevant again. I forgot that Tom Morris broke this story. God damn it. I watched a
When did
video...
he break it on Sunday?
No, last night.
yesterday. He broke it yesterday, and that was like the first news outlet to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. 'Cause
And-
I heard that he was going to have a press conference. Oh, yeah, yesterday was Monday.
Yeah, it was like so Richmond didn't come out and officially say they were having a press conference yet, or it was about Damien Hardwick. The story got broke before Richmond broke anything by fucking old mate Tom.
Yep.
And
Tommy Morris.
you know, I understand he has a job to do, and he's not the only journo that is an ambulance chaser, but it still leaves a bad taste in the mouth, doesn't it?
I didn't know
Where-
anyone had actually like hide him back.
Well, he's just sort of slithered back into the public news conscious, hasn't he? He's just he's doing radio stuff, I think. I'm not sure if he's back for Fox Footy, but Dimma
he's on
is the
SEN.
main story. Let's stop talking about Tom Morris. That 1 minute is too long.
Yuck.
Dimma stood down as
He
coach.
has.
Yeah.
And what do we reckon? Is it...
It's, my leading theory is that it's the medicinal marijuana.
yeah,
and-
elaborate on that.
He's just having a great time smoking the reefer, watching Family Guy season 7 on the couch.
Oh, that is a sick time.
And everyone from Richmond keeps calling him like, Dimmo, come on, we got training today. He's like,
So I'm watching the chicken fight. I
watching
can't.
the
I can't
Chicken
fucking.
Man episode. Can't be fucked.
And after this, it's a Stewie and Brian musical
Yeah.
episode. I've got to rip this cone.
That's my leading theory. He just wants to hang out at home and get on the chuff.
Yeah, man. Look, more power to you, Dimmer. If you have 3 flags, you can sit on the couch and get on the
Yes.
chuff.
Yeah.
Or,
And he's got a medical certificate to do it.
yeah, good for him. It's his back, isn't it?
I believe it's his back.
Yeah. Or it could be the chuff. It could be burnout. You know, it's a very hard mental thing, coaching.
Yep.
Or it could be a $17 million offer from the Eagles.
Yes.
To
That-
be the biggest,
Well,
the
did
second
I
thing.
most
hear-
lucrative offer in coaching history. What was that, Joel?
Did we hear a rumor that someone said he brought a house or
Yes.
purchased
We
a
did
house?
hear a rumour.
Unconfirmed rumor.
Like, we're
This
not going to
is-
say where it's from, but
No, there's an unconfirmed rumor.
To quote
he's
Damien
bought a
Barrett,
house
potentially.
in City Beach.
There are rumors.
Yes.
There are
But, I mean,
whispers.
The real estate thing has been proven to be a non-issue before, where coaches and players have bought property and it's turned out that it was probably just for investment
Because they're
purposes.
just playing the property market because
yeah.
our country
So
is a
they-
capitalist hellhole.
and they haven't moved here at all.
Yeah.
It's happened with a few big name
He's
players.
just going to Airbnb it out and like, just as a troll.
And also, having said that, there has been unconfirmed real estate rumors before. They've come from this same source.
Yeah, okay.
So
All right. Well,
take it with a grain of salt.
either way, it's a huge legacy, obviously, taking Richmond from being essentially a laughing stock of the AFL.
Yep.
They were. Yeah, people forget. It's
Yeah,
because he's now been.
People do forget how awful they were.
They were on the level of St Kilda, Carlton, and Essington. Sorry, Joel.
Yes.
Yeah.
As
No, it's
meme,
true.
they were a meme club.
But
they were a meme club.
below meme. They were borderline irrelevant.
Yeah, it was.
They
it
were
was.
shaking tins outside Punt Road.
And in 2016, the year before they won the flag, they had a losing season.
Yeah.
And it was, I think they went I think they finished like 11th or 12th or so, or maybe even lower, I think. It was a losing record. And people were calling for Dimma's head, wanting him to get sacked. And the club backed him. Brendan Gale backed him. And the board backed him. And then fucking 3 flags.
Bingo.
Bingo,
Yeah.
3 flags. And one of the best coaches of the modern era.
And it was that chaotic game style that did it. And
And it did change the game,
that
didn't it?
chaotic game style is just falling apart at the moment, especially in the forward line. They can't rush those goals that
Yeah.
they traditionally have been able to do.
And I think it's because a lot of the guys from that OG Premiership side are getting on or gone.
Yes.
You look at the 2017 Premiership team and how young it was at the time. It was, and they also had Alex Rance. People are already forgetting about how fucking good Alex
As
Rance
they
was.
should. He's well, I won't say anything on camera.
Whoa! You don't like Alex Rance?
Oh, mate,
we've gone
you
through
know
this.
this,
I can't
don't you?
stand Alex Rance.
Oh my god! I
went to-
forget.
I
I think
went
I
to-
blocked it. I love Alex Rance.
I went to high school with Alex Rance.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
so there's stuff you can't say.
Well,
He just doesn't like him.
I just don't like him.
Okay. Well, my shout out to Richmond now. I kind of like watching them now that they're a bit shit. We've been sick of them for a while.
It's a bit more exciting. Whenever
They've got the big cum.
Whenever there was a Richmond fixture for quite a while, I was so uninterested.
Yeah.
I would barely watch them. But
Yeah.
now it's turned back around. I do watch a lot of Richmond games.
Yeah. So shout out Dimma. Enjoy the chuff. Enjoy Family Guy YouTube Best Bits compilation as you just sit on the couch and don't worry about the fucking stress anymore. What else has been happening in the footy news, boys? Have we got any items? Anything been popping up?
This week's been noticeably lower on the reports. No, we had a ability to
Yeah, there was a
deluge every
few
week.
incidental bumps here and there. I
Yeah,
think
but-
Lockie Hunter got a
But
call in there.
nothing too insane as
Yeah.
we've been seeing of late, where there's these big article where
Yeah, not a rigorous debate.
Yeah, so it's a pretty quiet week on that front,
Yeah.
which is refreshing actually.
It is,
'cause
it
it
is.
is nauseating to talk about the same stuff over and over again every week.
I've got one for news. The mid-season draft is next week.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
a couple of delisted players have put their
Yes,
hands up
we've
for
got
it.
Quinton Narkle is putting his
He'll
hands
get
up to
picked
be
up
in there.
surely.
Yeah.
Sparkle Narkle.
Yeah, I like that.
Ben Ronk, former Sydney Swans player, kicked
Oh, yeah, I like Ben
he
Ronk.
kicked like 7 on debut or in his
Yeah.
second game or whatever. Martin Frederick, former Port Adelaide player.
Okay.
Jack Madgen.
Jack Madge.
The Madge is
Oh,
getting back
wow.
in. So this is what I'm most pumped for.
Yeah, I'm pumped for the Madge.
If Big Madge gets a run, you know who could use him? West Coast.
Yeah, they could.
They are lacking height. Everyone's
they're lacking
injured.
players right now.
All
They could
of
use
their
anyone.
tall players have died in a fire. So they need the Big Madge. Chuck
Do
him
you
down
think
back.
If they've got the first pick in the mid-season draft, do you think they're going to go with him over those other
Well,
names?
there is a guy who is touted to go number 1. His name is Ryan Marriage. I did a little crash course in him before. He's an 18-year-old, went undrafted in this draft,
Yeah.
was playing as a big key forward throughout all of his junior career. Get this, 2 years ago, at age 16, he's like 6'3", 6'4", he was sitting in the goal square being a young plugger at 107 kilograms. He has now shed down. He has now
Aw,
shed down
don't tell me he
to
shed down.
83 kilograms.
That's a shame.
So he has lost 24 kegs to get fighting fit and AFL ready, and he's touted to go number 1 in the draft. He is tall. West Coast
they need
Eagles
the tall.
need a big boy.
Yeah, and he still plays forward.
He still plays forward, I believe. He still plays out as a key forward. Now, obviously, Cal Toomey is the oracle, and if Cal Toomey says he's going to go number one, he probably is. But Eagles,
Well,
you
no,
need,
there's a
you need the
guy-
Madge. Go on, Joel.
There's
Sorry.
a guy at Claremont that Eagles are eyeing off as a key forward as well.
Okay, I did in my panicked research before coming here. I didn't see who that was.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think if Eagles are picking first, there's a chance they could go with him because he is a homegrown talent as well.
Okay, all right. I think that's about all I had in the footy
I've
news.
got-
Oh, we've also got. Sorry, you go, Joel. Yes.
Oh, the rising star to Josh Weddle.
Oh,
from
yes, he had
Hawthorn.
a good game for Hawthorn. Look, it was
Every
so much
Hawthorn
of that
player
game.
had a good game.
Every Hawthorn player had a good game.
They did.
Once again, Paddy Parnell robbed, but happy for Josh Weddle. And also we had Benchgate. We had the
Yes, I've got that written down here as well.
interchange gate.
I was so confused about this because I wasn't watching it. At
yeah,
the time.
I
had to
watched
watch
it.
back.
I watched it happen.
And
Can
just
I ask you two a
insane.
question?
Yeah, go on.
Can you count to 75?
Yes, we can.
Wait.
Oh, on a good day, I
So
can
what
count
you're
to
saying
75.
is you get the job at
We
North
get
Melbourne.
the job. So Todd Viney, the head of footy at North Melbourne, has come out and said it was a communication breakdown, and they received a warning during the game from the AFL official who stands at the interchange gate that they were one interchange
Yeah,
away.
That's what I was going to say. That,
But then two guys come off at once when it was
Yes.
meant to be one. I think it was Shields cramping up or whatever. He goes, I need to go off.
See, that's the most interesting thing to me because when I heard it that had happened, it sounded so absurd. And I saw the vision, and you see the guy literally blow a whistle.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, one more," and they don't just let you get to 75 and then ping you. They tell you.
they tell you you cannot do more than
So
one.
even after they've been told, then they fucked it up.
Yeah.
So I was ready to bring out the pitchfork and be like, "How could this happen? This is ridiculous." But honestly,
Looking
they
at the
fucked up.
vision, they fucked up.
real
They
bad.
fucked up. And it's looking at the vision, there's like 3 North Melbourne staff members that are in the area.
Yeah.
It's like 2 or 3. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yep.
I'm looking at that going, this
Too many
needs to
chiefs,
be
not enough Indians.
one bloke. That's a very, very racist thing to say. One bloke this needs to be, rather than 3 bickering little chickens. It needs to be I'm picturing the best interchange Stewart ever, what the vibe has to be. I reckon he's got to be an overweight, handlebar mustache, guy in a high-vis vest with a fucking clipboard
Yeah.
that is demanding respect
I'm
and like
picturing
will physically restrain
I'm picturing
players.
a tuck shop mum.
Oh, that too, yeah, like a
No.
matriarchal
I'm
tuck shop mum.
picturing a tuck shop mum that is not going to take any gear off
Yeah.
anybody.
Yep.
And it just gets it
I'm
done.
picturing a bouncing at a nightclub.
Yeah, like, you know, you go
Yeah,
in,
like,
you can't, not in those
no,
shoes,
no,
mate.
wait,
Yeah.
fuck off.
Like someone, like you've got to command respect if you're telling an AFL player, no, get the fuck back out on the ground.
I'm thinking
I
a
don't care if
big-
you're cramping.
Big Kiwi boy that just goes, no, mate, you're not
Yep.
getting in.
No, I know you've got a cramp. It's just not happening. You've got to stay out there, Shields. Next up, the results.
Before we go into
Oh.
the results, I've just got a quick.
I've done the
interesting-
early crow, sorry.
Just an interesting one. Fremantle. This kind of is delving into results, but they are
Yes.
now 3-0 while wearing jerseys that David Mundy didn't wear. So,
What does that mean? Like the
Change the
design?
jumper.
David
altogether.
Mundy wore every single jersey that Freo ever had. There was 27 jerseys. So since he's
Wow.
left, the 3 new jerseys that they've won every time.
So they need to not go back to any of the old
They
ones.
need to wear a new jersey every week.
Yeah, okay.
And they'll win the flag.
I love it. Next week, it's just going to be a bright fluorescent purple polo shirt. I love it.
So yeah, I just slipped that one in there. I thought that was
Oh,
pretty
that's good.
interesting.
No, that's a very good silly AFL stat. Let's go to the results,
Hey,
Joel.
silly. What's silly about that?
Sorry, it's very serious. It's a very serious stat,
as
Corey.
serious as what
You
Corey's
did good,
wearing.
son. Yes. No. If you're listening to the audio and not watching, Corey's wearing a Nicolas Cage face print set of PJs.
We call it the cage rage.
The Cage Rage. I like it. I like it. What was the first game of the round, Joel?
Alrighty, so the first game on the Friday night was Port Adelaide knocking over Melbourne by 4 points at
I
the
tipped
Adelaide
it.
Oval.
I also tipped it.
Yep, I had a feeling that not that I think Port are the better team, and I don't think they'll finish higher than Melbourne come the end of the year. The cream will rise to the top.
This was one
so to
that,
speak.
Joel didn't tip.
Joel did not tip it.
Oh, thanks for pointing that out.
I just had a feeling Porter on a fucking roll at the moment.
They
a,
are.
a big old roll.
And I'm not sure why. But maybe I've just had a recent head injury or something. But I looked at the ladder over the weekend, and Port's third.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it
It's
right
like,
now.
I thought they were like 6 or
The
7.
top 4: Collingwood, Brisbane, Port, and Melbourne.
Yeah.
And noticeably,
for some-
St Kilda not in the
For
top 4
some
anymore.
reason, I thought Port were 5 positions.
Yeah,
below that.
they've crept up. They've just strung the wins together,
and they do
now
look good. They look
do look
exciting.
very good.
They look
But
very exciting.
Zach Butters,
Butters,
what a game of football
unbelievable.
in the wet.
Yeah.
For him to be kicking the way he was kicking,
Yes.
it was insane.
Yeah, that was the very interesting thing about it. The stat line that he accrued and the game he played, with it being wet, and it was absolutely pissing
Oh, yeah,
for
it was
parts
moist.
of it.
It was very
It was
moist, Joel.
Exactly like some of the games in the gather round where the rain, how heavy the rain was there.
Yeah.
And he still was very clean. And he's a little fella.
Yeah, he's a cute little fella
Yeah,
too. He's got the bit of the Joel Brinnick about him, doesn't he?
Doesn't have the big football body,
No.
but he just gets it done.
So what you're saying
Love
is
it.
there's hope for me.
There's hope for you. You too.
Would it go that far?
I reckon you could, if you really applied yourself. How old are you? 24.
24, yeah.
24. You could maybe make it to a C grade reserve side if you
I'd be
really
stoked with
tried.
that.
Oh no, hey look, and I mean that. You could be in the forward pocket in a C grade resi side, Joel. But you've got to start running now. You've got to start, getting on the training track every week. Next up, what was the next game?
Next up was Benchgate. So
Benchgate.
Benchgate.
Yes.
stealing a balloon from a child, essentially.
Oh, it was very
3-point winners.
It was such a North Melbourne way to lose this game. I can't. I was watching it, and I felt very sorry for the field umpire that had to make this call and got it in his earpiece saying that there was an interchange breach because it was a frantic situation, like at a stoppage, ball up on the edge of the goal square. And he's got players yelling at him. There's 2 minutes to go. There's fucking less than a goal
He
in it.
didn't know what was going on.
He
when
didn't know.
got the
He had
call.
to say what, and the guys on the boundary line are just getting into his earpiece like, "There's been an interchange violation," and he's like, "Fucking what, boys? I can't throw the ball up yet." And to his credit, he took control and said, "This is what's happening. It's a free kick in the goal square, 50 metres, interchange violation," and that was the game. And as we've said, North.
There was a few things to like about that young side, though. Wardlaw's first game.
He played really well. He was.
You had Sheasel going through the guts as well.
Wardlaw
Callum
and
Coleman
Cheezel
Jones.
linking up.
That's
very beautiful.
That's their future. That's the number 1 and 2 pick.
Bailey
And
Scott, Simpkin. There was so many young kids out there that were really giving it a crack, and it just shows what can happen. They get the right people in going forward, and more so. Fuck, Sydney a shot.
Sydney are pretty shot, aren't they? They were very lucky to get away with this win.
Very bad.
And you look at the bottom 3 teams. I think North have a bit more to build around maybe than the others across the ground
Oh,
when it
100%.
comes to their young players. They are.
I would think so, yeah. Having said that, the Hawks have come miraculously good in the past
They
couple
have.
of weeks.
They have.
Well, it's hard to look bad against the
they
Eagles.
had, I think the Hawks had more of an existing framework to fall back on, whereas North is kind of trying to build something from scratch.
But yeah, Bailey Scott, 33 disposals. Jai Simpkin with 28 as well. He was overdue for a big game. I needed it for my fantasy team. Top in metres gained. I'm just loving having a laptop here so I can do this.
I saw
821 metres gained for Bailey Scott.
Wardlaw. That was his first game.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and there was I saw some vision of his a bit of a reel of some of his plays. He was giving Chad Warner a hard time.
Yeah.
Chad Warner was trying to get into him at one point.
He's a big-bodied young man,
Pushed
George
him into
Wardlaw.
the ground while Wardlaw was on the ground. Wardlaw got up and just fucking gave it to him.
Yeah,
He's
dude,
an 18-year-old in his first game.
Is it just me, or are the kids getting bigger? Are the 18-year-old kids that are coming through?
If you ask my dad about this, he will stone cold look you in the face and say it's the hormones in the chicken.
Yeah, well, he could be right.
He
could
probably
be
is right.
You look at Matt Rao.
Clearly, I did not get any of that.
You look at guys like Wardlaw, Matt Rao,
Yep.
Harley Reid coming up's a big-bodied boy.
Yep.
Fucking, there's a lot of beef in these kids now,
I
and
watched-
it could be the hormones in the chicken.
I actually had not seen much of Harley Reid until yesterday.
He looks the good. He
when
looks the goods.
I watched a bit of a compilation of him, and fuck, he is huge.
He's a huge young man.
He's massive. And some of the video I was watching, the person narrating it or whatever was like, "Oh yeah, he's 16 in this video." I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
It's
He's
going to
a
be
man.
mental. What was the next game, Joel?
All right, next game out in Ballarat. Bulldogs getting over the Crows by 45 points.
Man,
Now this one, it really looked like they won by a lot more.
well,
they
this is
they
just
dominated.
and this might upset the people of Ballarat, what I'm about to say.
So you're gonna shit on
15
the ground.
more
But
scoring
Mars
shots.
Stadium,
It's bad.
formerly Eureka Stadium, it's bad. I've never been there. Maybe if I ever went there to go and watch footy, spoiler alert, I'm not going to fucking go to Mars Stadium.
I've driven past it, but I've never been in.
Did it look like a hole or did it look good?
It looked pretty bad.
Yeah. Well,
It looks-
it's like every game I watch. I can't remember watching a broadcasted game at Mars where I went, gee, that was great. What a good
Yeah.
product. What a great game of footy that was.
Yeah,
it is
I'm
a
not
cold,
I'm not
windswept
sure-
shithole. Again, I've never been.
I'm not sure what the commercial deal is that they've got going on to have to keep playing there, but yeah, it is bad every time.
Well, I think it's I don't know whether it's commercial or whether it's
I was very much looking forward to this game because
Yeah, Crom. I mean, we look forward to all Crom
I'm on
games.
the flag Crom. I'm on the flag Crom bandwagon, and I also really like the Dogs, and I like what they're both doing this year.
What, are the
but
Dogs legit? What do we
Yeah,
reckon?
they are legit as hell, man.
Are they legit,
Yes,
Joel? What do you reckon
100%.
on the Dogs?
100%.
I still just don't trust them.
You don't.
Mate.
I'm with you, Joel.
I
don't
think
reckon.
the Dogs will be in the top 4.
Like, I trust Adelaide
Nah.
more than I
Yes.
do
Nah.
the Dogs still.
You've been bullish on the Dogs for a long time.
Yes.
You've liked them, Corey.
The difference between the Dogs and Adelaide is Adelaide have been very impressive this year, but what they've been impressive is not all linking together.
Yep.
What the Dogs have is an incredible midfield,
Yeah.
which they have always had, and all they needed to do was just put it together again.
And now they've got a lot of upside on either side of the centre bounce as well with forward and back.
Libba's playing the season of his
Liam
career
Jones
at the
is
moment.
playing very good footy as well. Like he's
Yeah,
grabbing
he was a great pickup.
intercepting everything. They've got Ed Richards having the season of his life.
Yeah.
Aaron Norton is obviously going to give you what Aaron Norton gives
Yes,
you.
very good.
So yeah, I mean, can I see them making top 4? Maybe,
Yeah, I think
but
they
it's
will.
tight at the top.
I think they
it's
will.
tight. Either way, I'm
If
I'm
Bond
happy
has
to.
put the other 17 blokes on his shoulders and run to the top 4, he will do it.
He will fucking do it.
Let's go, boys.
Look, it's just such a shame that Crom got belted like this, but it's at
Yeah, I don't-
Mars.
I don't love it.
It's at Mars
as-
Stadium.
as I
I'm
said-
willing to put a line through it. It doesn't count.
It's a
It doesn't
mulligan.
count.
Not only did they
It's
get,
a mulligan, Joel.
not only
Correct.
did they get belted, that scoreline is not even indicative of what that
It
game
should have been
was.
100 points,
It
yeah,
should have been
it is.
100 points. They
And,
were toying with them, and
They couldn't get the ball.
No.
They could not get the ball.
The amount
it was,
of time,
Well,
the amount
no,
of
one
time that the
player
Dogs
could.
had.
yeah,
Laird.
Rory Laird could. It was a classic Rory Laird, like get 40 touches in a pumping game. Like he loves
and
those.
on Rory Laird, one of the a page that I love to follow is AFL players drawing dicks.
I've not heard of this page.
Oh, so it's the GPS data from their jerseys.
Oh,
And the
yes.
heat, sometimes a player's heat map is
Will
a
be a
perfect
dick.
and ball. And
Laird have one?
Laird had a pretty good one this
Yeah,
week. so
nice.
I do
yes.
like that.
Get around him. Well, what was the next game, Joel?
Alrighty, so Freo upsetting the Cats at Optus Stadium.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Joel. Sorry. I'm just going to backtrack because I do have something written down here
Oh,
for the
yeah,
Dogs.
yeah.
I'd said that the Dogs are going to go top 4. I actually wrote something down to back that up. In the next 12 weeks, the Dogs are playing all of the bottom 9 sides.
Oh, okay.
So their run so far has been difficult.
And they're already
They're already where they are. So
All right, Corey, you might be selling me on
so
this.
if they're
They're
playing
6th on the ladder now.
if they are playing every one of the bottom 9 sides in the next 12 weeks, you have to imagine they're going to win 7 of those.
They're on equal points with Melbourne and St Kilda. They're all on 28 points.
Is St Kilda and Melbourne going to win 7 of the next 12 games? Or 9 games, rather?
I think you're turning me here. I think
Yeah,
the Dogs could
exactly.
make top 4. Oh,
Exactly.
my God. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah. Sorry, Joel. Go
Yes,
ahead.
next game. Next
Alrighty,
game.
so Freo getting over the Cats.
I was at this game.
Yeah,
You
what were your thoughts? What was the mood on the ground?
This is an
Corey?
upset.
Well, not only was it an upset, but my thoughts of the game were the people sitting in front of me were fucking annoying.
We were getting live updates in the chat about how much Corey wanted to deck somebody.
As soon as we sat down, the game hadn't even started. I told the boys, I said, "Oh, I don't know how long I can go here before saying something," and it turned out it wasn't long.
What exactly was said? We've been through this. Let's go through it again for the record. What was said?
By the punters.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then what did you say to
Oh,
them?
okay. Yeah,
Depending on what he said, let's
it was just
Yeah.
okay. The main one was just a lot of the ball calls.
Calling ball for everything.
Yeah, not just everything. No, when I say everything, I mean like someone touching a guy's shoulder and then him kicking the ball to his friend. That's ball.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not ball, is it?
It's not ball.
But it was
No.
ball.
Yeah.
And you imagine how many kicks and handballs there are in a game.
Yep.
That's how many ball calls there were. It was just beyond me.
So they were arcing you up, and this has been going on.
And there was
What
a few,
quarter?
There was a few other nuffy calls
Yep.
that they were just pushed
They're
throwing
being
out.
nuffs. They're being
Yeah,
nuffs.
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe you.
Yeah.
These guys are idiots.
So about halfway through the first quarter,
First quarter is when you decided, I've had enough.
I just said, boys, come on. That's not ball, is it? It's not. He's kicked it. They're still standing up.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? They've looked at me. They kind of kept going. And I had a few words to them through the game. It was all good. And me and lovely Lani, who took me along to the game.
We love Lani.
We had a chat on the way out of the stadium. We had a chat with the boys.
Okay, they
And
were,
they were-
yeah,
they
all right,
were-
okay.
they were
Yeah,
lovely.
that's a
They
happy
were-
ending to the story.
They were aware of how nuff it was.
Yeah.
And one of the boys was like, you got to do it. You got to just say ball. I said,
No,
"But
you don't.
You don't,
You
though, do
don't.
you?
You don't.
Because like nobody else
We
was.
should be better.
It was just you.
Yeah.
And what it makes you look like is a fucking stupid Eagles fan. Because that's what they all do at Eagles games.
Are you?
Freo-
Is that what you want to be?
Freo
is
games,
that what you want to
Freo
be?
games are better than that for that sole reason alone. Is that Eagles, the entire stadium, all game, ball.
Yeah, they should hold themselves to a higher standard than
Freo
the
games
Freo
are
fans.
generally a little bit better.
But it was a big game
was
for
a
the Dockers here. It's a
fantastic game.
massive upset over
We
the
were-
reigning
we
A
premiers.
were
lot of
sitting,
stars
um,
out though.
We were
Yeah.
sitting right in the forward pocket. Got to catch some good action up close. Very, very good. Huge feeling in the ground with it, with the way Freo was playing. Just the absolute run and carry, the confidence to move forward, which is what they've really been struggling
Yeah,
with.
they've been missing that, and also Brayshaw had a
Yes,
breakout game.
he did.
They've been missing him. It's been Sarong doing a lot of the midfield work
And
this year.
You've got the sheet open there, but I've
Yeah.
written down here the top 9 disposal getters in the game are all Freo.
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, it checks
They
out.
had a lot of
So
stars
that
out.
is
yeah.
unbelievable. The Cats didn't have
So yeah,
anyone
who
over
did
20.
Geelong not have? Who was out again?
So
Paddy Dangerfield
No
wasn't there.
Dangerfield. No. De Koning's a big out for them.
Yep.
Duncan's out. No Cam Guthrie. Ollie Henry. Sam Melangola. Gary Rowan.
Yeah, that is
Stanley as
that is a
well.
fair out list. Yeah,
Big
it's
list.
it's
I
a lot
think
of different
even
positions
with
that are out there.
Even with that list, you would think. I mean, if you discount the start to the year that Geelong has had, which was quite slow,
Yeah.
you would still think that Geelong would get it over Freo.
You'd think, but
Yeah.
I think now maybe with 3 on the trot,
And I
Freo are starting to
Yeah,
get
they're
it
getting some
together.
momentum. And
They're
I
getting
will
some
say,
momentum.
one of the biggest things that led to Freo winning and looking like they were dominating, especially the second half, was not just that confidence to move forward, but also completely shutting down Tom Stewart.
Yeah.
He was
Yep.
not even in the game.
Had a rough game.
whatsoever. And it was actually the much maligned figure of Bailey Banfield that did a lot of work on Tom
Yeah, a
Stewart.
bit of a forward tag.
And
Yes.
Bailey Banfield is hated by a lot of even Freo fans. And he's usually the sub, but he played the whole
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
And he did some very good work on Tom Stewart, which was impressive.
Good
And
stuff.
Darcy and Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson are turning into an incredible ruck duo.
Lot to like about him. What was
Really?
the next game, Joel?
So Brisbane just getting up comfortably on the Suns.
Oh,
wicket.
the Q clash.
Yeah,
What
so-
could have been. I'm never tipping Gold Coast again for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was
It's
expecting.
not
here, but-
happening. Mark my words, boys. Never again. I'm never tipping them again.
Lachie Neale-
Watching them in the last quarter was
Yeah.
so frustrating
didn't
because
even
I was
watch this,
backing
though.
them.
Didn't even watch it.
They were completely outmuscled in every aerial contest in that last 15 minutes of the game.
They should have won by more. Brisbane.
Gold Coast had a sniff though. They gave themselves a sniff
Yeah, but-
towards that 3-quarter game. Yes, they
Yeah.
were getting outplayed, but
Yeah.
on the scoreboard they had a sniff.
See,
and
now
then
this is the difference between the Q Clash and the Dogs v Crom game. The margin, what was the margin in the Lions game? It's about the same,
43
40
points.
points to exactly 40,
Yeah.
40 points or 45 points. those margins are extremely similar, but the Q Clash looked a lot closer.
Yeah,
A lot closer.
It was
From
like
what I didn't watch the game. I watched some a bit of a recap later on.
Yeah.
Looked way closer of a game, and it's the same margin.
It was a 20-minute burst in the last quarter where Brisbane really fucking put the foot on the throat and put the hammer down.
Well, they
and
kicked 6 goals to 1
yeah,
the last.
to their credit, like it wasn't just offensively kicking goals, like defensively every time Gold Coast kicked the ball forward.
And
to
this-
an
this
aerial
was in the
contest.
last quarter?
Last quarter.
See, this
it
is where
was,
the
it
Suns
was like
struggle.
it was all they could do to just try and get a kick forward and just like, oh my god, we're under so much pressure as the ball carrier. We have to launch it and back ourselves in a one-on-one. They were getting it to one-on-ones. They won, I think, maybe 3 out of like 30. It was just a one-on-one with the Brisbane player, no matter who it was, whether it was whoever it was up the ground. They were getting out-muscled in the air, contested mark, bang,
And
intercept.
this is the story of the Suns, isn't it? That however good they look, they struggle to put together 4 whole quarters in a game. And to their credit, they were missing Lockie Weller,
Yep.
who is an absolute jet.
He's
in their back
he's
line.
important. He's important.
They
for
were
them.
missing Sam Flanders, who's a certified gun.
We love Sammy.
We love Sammy.
He's, why wasn't he played, Corey?
I'm not too sure, but
Okay.
you would think he'd be back in this week. And they were also missing Lukosius, I believe. Or
Yeah.
did he play? No, I don't think he did.
I forget if
I don't
he
Yeah,
think
did.
Lukosius played.
He did?
played,
All
he
right.
played.
Well, he must have been bad.
But yeah, Lockie Neal with the Q Clash medal as well.
No, I still think it should have been Ashcroft.
Yeah, look, Ashcroft's been in some fucking ripper
Isn't that
form.
medal named after his father?
It is named
Yeah.
after his
Very
his daddy.
impressive. The quickness of his
Daddy.
hands
Was
inside the contest.
Was Marcus there to watch, or was Daddy wasn't there?
And Daddy would have been there. You know, his brother's going to be coming in the comp soon.
Yeah.
And seriously, he's going to be as good as Will. And they're just going to get him for free.
Oh God, it's
Like,
very true.
seriously.
Brisbane are scary good at the Gabba. They are like damn near unbeatable at that
I
ground.
think I think we talked about this a few episodes ago, but as far as fortresses go, the Gabba has overtaken GMHBA for the Cats.
Oh, 100%,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. And it is a dedicated solo ground for a team, which is it's not as common as you'd think in the AFL. Like you've got GMHBA, Metricon, or whatever. Whose phone is going off?
Not mine.
It's Corey's. It's yours.
Yeah.
Yours with the sounds, Corey. It is Metricon for Suns, Gabba for Brisbane, GMHBA for Geelong, and that's it. Those are the only 3 solo grounds that teams have.
Yeah.
Gabba's number 1. What was the next game, Joel?
All right, the next game was a single nail in the coffin to end Dimma Hardwick's coaching career.
Oh, now
The
that you put it like
Bombers-
that, that is grim.
the
It
Bombers
was-
getting up by a point in 20 seconds
Oh
to go.
man,
That was a fantastic
This was
game.
fucking game of the round.
I would say game of the
100%
round,
game of the
yeah.
round.
Sam
Yep.
Durden.
I enjoyed it.
I think they'd won.
Sam
fif-
Durham. Sam Durham, Joel.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
14 wins straight against the Tigers, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Richmond had on Essendon.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
so
a long time.
I saw a very funny comment on the AFL subreddit live thread that said, "Yeah, that'll teach you. Nobody beats us 14 times in a row."
It was such a game that Essendon would usually lose as well. Like it was so set for an Essendon choke, but they fucking didn't.
They did it.
found a way.
It was
They found a
fantastic.
way.
Absolutely fantastic.
It
The
was
package-
awesome.
There was a goal from the package that was phenomenal, and it came from the exact. The reason they won that game was the way that they were forming up in front of the ball,
Yep.
and it ended up getting down to Stringer, who kicked an amazing goal. It was probably the goal of the game. I
Jakey
would think.
Stringer. He's still single, I believe, ladies. If someone
Really?
wants to... I don't know that for sure. I'm just guessing.
Do you reckon he has a nice package?
Oh wow!
I don't know.
Well, his name's
Let's
the
say
package.
yes. Let's say yes.
I
But
hope
so the result that this game had on the ladder, Geelong in 7th down to Fremantle in 10th. It goes Geelong 7th, Adelaide 8th, Essendon 9th, Fremantle 10th, all on 20 points. All apart from Geelong in kind of the same percentage region as each other.
Yeah, see, I'd take.
It's
I'd
going to
take-
be so tight down
I
the
would
bottom
take
of that.
Freo out of all that lot.
I'd take the Crom out of all that lot. You
No,
know,
I'd take the
I'm
Bombers.
taking Crom.
I'll take Freo.
So we've all taken a different team here. Well, not
Well,
all
I
of them
think
can make it.
Bulldogs could drop out.
Nah, I don't think they will now.
it-
Corey's
out-
convinced me on them now.
Out of that top 8, you would think 7 and 8 are the only places free.
Yeah, I agree with
You would
that.
think?
And are Geelong going to drop out? I don't think so. I don't think Geelong will. So it's that 8th spot that it's going to be
What could happen is they could sign Ken Hinkley and then they shit the bed.
Adelaide versus Essendon versus Fremantle and possibly Carlton.
No,
We'll
Carlton's
talk
fucked.
about Carlton. They might be fucked.
They're out.
They might be
We will
fucked.
talk
We
about
don't
them
know.
later.
We don't know. I think they're fucked. What's the next game, Joel?
We will get to them. Alrighty, so the demolition in Tasmania.
Now, we don't have to spend too much time.
We
on
don't
this
have to
one.
spend.
Hawthorn,
Stop!
116
He's
points.
already dead.
Yeah,
He's
it's
already
fucked.
dead.
The media machine, some of the stuff that's coming out is
Mitch Lewis beat the
just-
Eagles.
Yeah.
It's absolute insanity. Like, what's going
Our,
on?
our honorary boy who wasn't officially adopted by us, but I've been giving him votes, Jermaine Jones,
It's
has
not
gone
even-
down with an injury.
Yeah, that's
As
sad.
bad as the game was, and I didn't even watch it. Haven't even watched any highlights of it because
Why would you?
There's no point.
Yeah.
and
I
there's no
watched it, it was
point.
great.
There's no point in dissecting the way they're playing.
Yeah.
There's no point in dissecting the way that Adam Simpson is coaching, because he's coaching guys that are not supposed to be in the AFL for
Yeah.
2 more years.
Yeah, that's true.
And-
They're sitting on the bottom on 4 points with 55%. That is
Bad.
as grim as it gets. Next
It is,
game,
you
Joel.
have to say
Next game.
it's the lowest that the Eagles
Look,
have ever.
we-
Ever been as a club.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's just the hardest bit for the supporters who are sitting back going, fuck, like, not even gonna, what do you do in that
And- but
situation?
It
Just-
is a
just
great,
quickly-
watching Nadia trying to G herself up to watch the games.
That
Kevin
was
Eagles support.
entertaining.
I did read an interesting take from a physiotherapist today on the injury crisis.
Yeah.
And what people are saying, they got to get rid of the strength and conditioning people. They got to get rid of the recovery people. And this guy was like, yeah, maybe. But the thing that everybody's forgetting is there's a critical mass of injuries that you get where the players that aren't injured have to play longer and more, which creates a cycle of them being injured.
Yes.
So it's a self-perpetuating cycle that they've found themselves in, and they're unable to
and
get
we
out
will
of it.
talk about Simpson
There
later.
was a really good comment I found on Reddit, which I would like to read out now. Sorry, I know we weren't going to dwell on this, but this is actually really good. Shout out to Mask of Anarchy on the AFL subreddit. Mask spelled Masque.
Mask.
It's this is in response to the comment of a few of those are more than 2-year patients. Without diving into their data, Nick Nat, Darling, Yo, Shuey, Hearn have all spent more time out than in the last 4 years.
Yes.
This guy replies to this comment. It's McGovern you want to add to that list, not Darling. Games played since the beginning of 2020. Darling, 70 out of 72, 97.2% of games. Hearn, 57 out of 71 games, 80% of games. Nat Newey, 47 out of 72, 65% of games. All Australian, best and fairest in 2020 and 21. Shuey, McGovern. And Yo, 55.6% of games. Nat Newey has been an injury-prone player, but was coming off 2 outstanding seasons leading into last year. Hearn and Darling, typically very durable. The crazy and sad ones are the bottom 3, particularly Yo. Without wanting to delve too deeply into it, at the end of 2019, when we made the trade for Tim Kelly, we had 5 genuine star players, McGovern, Kennedy, Shuey, Yo, and Nat Newey. And they were star players.
Yes.
Absolute stars. 2 key position players, a ruckman and 2 midfielders, a very nicely balanced mix. At the start of 2019, those 3 pillars, Yo, Gov and Shuey, were absolutely in their prime. They were getting BNFs, all Australians, and they were all very durable. They were, they'd only missed 17 games between them in heaps of years.
Yeah.
These weren't injury-prone players. It's just fucking shit luck.
Yeah.
It's just shit luck that this
And
has
the
happened.
thing about Nat Newey is he's been injury prone. He's kind of his whole career. He's had huge stints out.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the Eagles have been a big enough club with enough depth to just keep him in for him to be a genuine superstar when he is playing. They don't have that depth
They
anymore.
don't
It's
have that
gone.
depth anymore.
It
Anyway,
is gone.
let's not keep beating the dead horse, even though we are absolutely going to keep beating the dead
All
horse.
right,
Love
next
it.
game.
Next game, Joel.
Next game was the one we watched together, so
Oh boy, this was fun. This was fun.
it
I
was
mean,
fun.
it was fun.
The Pies getting
but
up by
I-
28 points.
I had really hoped it would be a bit more of a contest.
Me too.
It was kind of over
Me too.
but before it even started.
We were toying with them after the second half.
Carlton looked pathetic.
They did.
They did look pathetic.
And
There
that's
was-
taking nothing away from you, but they
We
for
were
the
on
moment,
cruise control for
Yeah,
the second half.
definitely.
Completely didn't care.
Definitely cruise
yeah,
control. They could have put the boot in and blown that margin out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I would think.
I reckon it was just Craig McRae being a good guy to his former teammate Michael
leave it-
Voss and
leave
being
it
like,
alone.
"We
Leave-
don't need
leave
to
it
pump
alone.
them here, boys.
Leave it
Come
alone.
on,
We got 'em, boys."
They don't need this. They don't need
I
this."
mean, we'll talk about Vossi later and the Blues, but yeah, they look pathetic.
Yeah.
Carlton.
Oh, there it is. And Darcy Moore, breaking the
Yeah.
record for
No,
most.
no,
They
They took
did
it
not.
away. Champion data came out yesterday and took one of those away. So he's
What?
equaled it. He's equaled it.
He's equaled it. So now there's like 5 players who have gotten 10.
10, yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It is disappointing.
Champion data, thank you for doing that. I honestly, your job is necessary. We'd be useless without your stats.
But the it was
That we don't get access to.
but we don't get access to.
there was a lot of fight early on, not so much in terms of gameplay and the scoreboard, but there was literal fighting going
Yeah, it
on,
was
which
sick.
was exciting.
It was
They were
sick.
going after Nikki.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
No,
Joshy.
they were
They
going
were
after
going after
Joshy.
Joshy.
Joshy came in to help Nikki.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think after the first one, but there was like 4 or 5 instances where scuffles were breaking out because they were going straight to Josh. Like 2 or 3
Okay, I
players
think
were
the
going
first time
straight
though was
to
when he was
Josh.
backing up his brother. Though.
Wherever he was on the ground, for some reason they were going after him. He ripped his jersey twice.
Yeah, and
he was onto his 3rd jersey by the end
and
of the
boy,
game.
what a rig! What a rig!
Yeah, you love
What
it.
a rig! Joshy
You love it.
Dacos
And
has.
interesting, as the seasons progress, whenever a Collingwood player rips their jersey, they have interesting
thing.
monograms
Yeah, on the
inside
collar.
the collar.
Yeah.
So we got to see Josh Dacos's one, and it said something. It said 7, but we couldn't see the second word, so it said 7
okay.
something.
Okay.
What do you think
all
the
right.
word was? If you had to
7,
guess.
Samurai.
7 vaginas.
Seventh Heaven. Oh, great show. Deep cut. Deep
no,
cut.
bad show.
Yeah,
bad
no,
show.
it actually is a horribly inappropriate
bad,
show.
Bad show. And that
Yeah.
guy's in jail now, the dad.
The dad. What did he do?
He was fucking kids. And stuff.
No way. He what? Well,
I think he was molesting people while he was on that show.
that's the moral of the story is don't make Christian television.
Well, I think the
It's-
moral of the story is don't
Don't
have sex
molest
with
kids, either,
yeah.
but you know the two go hand in hand: Christian TV and molesting kids. Doherty and Shearer and Walsh led the disposal counts for this game: 34,
Yeah,
33,
that was
and
interesting.
29.
Pies had nobody over 30 disposals, 3 blues, 30 plus,
Yep.
Docchera and Walsh.
It was
That's
it was
standard,
just
though.
a really even performance. Yeah, Darcy Moore on 25 touches as well. That's got to be a career best.
Yeah, you would
I
think.
think it is a
You
career
would
best.
think.
And the last game of the round, which we also watched on the live stream.
Just before we go on,
Yes.
I suppose we're going to talk about Carlton.
we are going to
Yeah,
talk.
no,
We
no,
are going
we'll-
to talk about
I'll just
Carlton. We're
say-
going to talk
I'll
about
just
Carlton.
quickly say their run, because I mentioned the run home for the Dogs. Carlton's run for the next few games: Sydney, Essendon, Melbourne, which quite hard. You could
Well, they
say.
win one of those.
But Gold Coast and the Hawks after that, so
Yeah,
so
okay.
they will pick up a couple more wins.
Yes, they will. You'd think, you'd hope. What was the last game? I think you all know. It was,
It
the
was
Saints getting up.
Saints
2
and
goal
GWS.
winners.
Yeah,
Should have been down to the wire, you would think.
It should have
What
been
are you
down to
doing?
the
What are
wire.
you doing? What are you
There's a
doing?
Saints button.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
Joel,
yeah,
you,
yeah.
don't, you
fuck
can't
off, he
just
got a Collingwood
you're just hijacking the buttons. Yeah, there it
You
is.
would
There's
think
the Saints
It
music.
should have gone down to the wire. That orange tsunami.
No, we should have blown it away, but we couldn't kick straight.
The
Yeah.
orange
No
tsunami
time.
kind of failed right at the end.
They
there,
had a
last
crack, the
couple of
Giants.
minutes.
They did have a crack. But yeah, Saints getting up in the end. Good games from Sinclair played a fucking blinder.
Sinclair was on fire.
He was
37
unreal.
Disposals, 733 metres gained.
Yeah, that's a lot of meters.
is
That's
a
a lot of meters.
lot.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay.
what do you, we'll get more into this in his Joel okay.
Yeah,
We
but
can talk about
you
it
just
there.
talked about how the Giants should have won it, but the Saints kicked 2 goals, 7 in that last quarter.
Yeah, that's
Like
rough.
you saw how many shots on goal they had. They just fucked up.
They did fuck it up. It was
Um,
very inaccurate.
There was one
13
big
goals,
story
14.
to come out of it though, and that was Machito Owens. Fucking hell.
That was so big. Yeah, shouts out Machito. Is he confirmed concussed? Is he out?
No, he's he'll go through the concussion
Yeah,
protocol.
so
there's
it's
no
like
structural.
mandatory.
Yeah, but there's no structural damage, and considering we all sat there and thought, "Fuck, he's in a lot of trouble here."
Yeah.
I thought he was dead for a second.
Yeah,
there.
it was pretty
We all
rough.
did.
It was pretty rough.
But
I
he's okay.
like Machito. He's one of my favourite
Yeah, I do
Saints
like
players right now.
Machito.
He's
So
very good.
shouts out to him
Yeah,
and
prayers up Machito Owens.
The flaming hot Cheeto.
The flame. I love flaming hot Cheetos.
It tastes good,
So-
but it leaves shit all over your fingers.
After the results, we are going to get into the BTH MVP voting, the award. Our top 5 players of the round. Best player gets 5. Fifth best player gets 1. I'll go with mine first, lads. At 1 vote this week, and you know I like to get a bit exotic in the 1 vote spot.
yeah.
But this is someone I have given the exotic 1 voter to before, but I had to do it again. It is the lizard Nick Blakey, once again for the Swans. 19 disposals. Doesn't sound that impressive, but they were very...
Sorry, I just had to register what you said. The lizard.
Yeah, that's what his nickname is.
Yeah, the lizard. Lucky.
He looks
Not
like a
lucky,
bit
He
of a
does
lizard.
look like a lizard.
And that's why I've
You look at him run. You look at him run, and his torso is so narrow, and he's very quick, like a salamander.
the reason that's made me laugh so much is because I was just looking at Nick Blakey this morning on Fantasy,
Yeah.
and his headshot in Fantasy, I was like, oh,
He looks like a
He
lizard.
doesn't look quite right. does he? And you've hit the nail on the head of what I was thinking this morning with lizard.
Well, I didn't come up with the nickname. Like, people call him the lizard, so I'm not bullying him. I didn't come up with this. 19 disposals at 80% efficiency. The run and carry that he gives them. I know that Sydney aren't that great this year. It is not Nick Blakey's fault. He is really fucking trying. He was Sydney's most influential player, I thought, apart from North's interchange manager. 2 votes. Andrew Brayshaw. Finally, he's finding some form. He's getting his hands on the footy. He's attacking. He's helping out the rest of the team. 33 disposals, a goal, 8 score involvements, 10 tackles. Well done, Andrew Brayshaw.
7 clearances as well.
7 clearances, very good. 3 votes, Zach Merritt. I'm sure you boys will give him votes as well.
Yes.
Well-deserved medal. Very good captain's performance from Merritt. 4 votes, Darcy Moore. Wanted to give him more, pun intended. You'd think he's a lock for All-Australian centre-half back right now.
Oh, without
An
a
absolute,
doubt. Without a doubt.
Take it to the bank. I did have written down here broke record for intercept marks, but he didn't break it. He equaled it according to champion data.
For our records.
For our records,
he's done it.
He's
Hang
broken.
on a minute. You've given Nick Blakey a vote and not Jack Sinclair.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're fucked.
You know what?
Nick
Now
Blakey-
you've said that, I'm going to cross him out of mine as well.
Fuck you both.
I just think
Disrespectful.
I just think
fucks.
Sinclair could have been a bit more lizardy in his disposals, and he wasn't. So, and I'm not gonna look. The point of the one spot is that
He almost doubled his disposals.
it's not just about the disposals.
Oh,
Joel.
no, not
it's
everything
not
else.
just about
I'll
the
get
stat
to
sheet.
him, though, don't
It's
worry.
about the vibes.
The X Factor.
It's about the X factor.
I'll give
And
you
when it comes to the X factor, Nick Blakey's got it in spades. And 5 votes, Zach Butters. I mean,
Butters.
fucking unreal. Easily
that's
one
an
of
easy
the
lock.
best. One of the best individual games this season,
I would
if
think.
not the best.
I would think. It's rivaling only Nick Dacos.
Yeah, it was incredible. Who wants to go next? Corey?
I'll take it.
Yes.
1 vote, Ash Johnson.
Oh, yes, took a huge hang.
And that's why I'm giving him a vote, just for that mark
X
alone.
factor.
He did kick
X
2
factor.
goals and was pretty good, but just the mark alone is worth 1 vote for me.
Yes.
2 votes, Maya Check.
Oh, God, are you going 2 Pies players?
Yeah. But they're at the bottom. They're not at the
Yeah,
top.
okay, all right,
They're not
okay.
at the top. He's
Yeah.
at 2 votes, 4-goal haul, and has been very good the last few weeks as
Yes.
well with bringing in some little bags. But I think he was instrumental in just holding that forward line together.
Yes.
3 votes, Andy Brayshaw.
Yep.
We reeled off his stats a second ago. 4 votes, Sinclair.
Oh, there's your man.
There's
There's
some
your man.
respect.
Yes,
37
yes.
disposals, 733 metres gained and 2 goals. And
Yep.
not just that, he was fucking everywhere.
He was.
He was running through the middle like an absolute jet. And the hair, fantastic. Love
I'd
it.
say he is Saints' most important player.
Yeah. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
In regards to the game
The
style.
fact he's going through the middle now makes a huge
Yep.
difference as well.
And was he, am I mistaken, was he wearing a longie as well?
he was
Yeah.
wearing
He
a
was
longie.
wearing a longie.
He
With
likes
the mullet.
he likes a longie.
If it wasn't
Yeah.
for Butters, the longie would have elevated him from 4 votes
Yeah.
to 5.
Yeah. Love a longie.
And I've just given it up. Butters for 5.
Yeah, it has to be Butters. Jolie, what did you have for your top 5?
All right, so 1 vote because apparently we just give 1 votes to like people we think it has X factor.
I know. I don't think.
Yeah, you say that with
that
a
the lizard has
sarcastic
X factor.
vitriol in your tone, which
Yeah.
I don't like.
Yeah.
These are our votes. I'm not going to tell you your votes are wrong, except I absolutely will.
You will.
Go on. Who have you got? Who have you got?
With 1 vote in his game return, Max King, 4 goals, 1.
Oh my god.
After
Yeah,
such a
he
long
played
layoff,
well. He played
9
well.
score involvements.
I'm not going to give you shit for it because
Okay.
he played well. He
did.
played well. You see, I'm taking the high road, Joel.
Oh, yeah.
How many points did he kick?
1.
He only kicked one. He only
Oh,
kicked one.
that is
No,
good.
he had a good day. He had a good day out.
Ashcroft for 2 votes, 30 touches. I think it was robbed of that Marcus Ashcroft medal.
Yes, Daddy wasn't there.
Daddy wasn't there, but
Yes.
I thought he played great. 30 disposals, 1 goal, 76% he went at as well.
He'd be a fair shout for getting up there in their B&F tally if he keeps this up.
absolutely.
Like,
He deserves
he'd
it.
be right up
Absolutely.
there. Yeah, good shout.
3 votes goes to Merritt. We've discussed that.
Merritt,
Yep.
yeah,
He
he was a
deserved
bit
it.
stiff to not get into my 5.
Yeah,
I
it's
did look at him.
tough.
I
It's
did
tough.
look at him, but I just thought
You know,
the
you
other
had to
small-
fit your 2 Collingwood players in, so you do that a lot. You are often getting 2 Collingwood players in your 5. Yes, go on, Joel.
They're the best. if they didn't play so good, then maybe
good
they wouldn't have
mark,
2
so
such
he
good
makes-
players every week, wouldn't they?
Oh,
It
jeez.
checks out. It checks out. Yes.
With 4, you got to go Sinclair.
Yep.
Yep, 37 touches, 2 goals. He really racked, and 83% he went at as well.
Yep.
And then 5 votes, Butters.
Oh, it's got to be the butts. Oh, well done.
I
So,
Good
do
week
have
for
Monty's as
Butters.
well.
Oh, yep.
yeah, Monty. Sorry, can you rail them off, Joel? My bad for forgetting.
Yep, so 1 vote to Neil, 2 votes to Sinclair,
Yep.
3 to Merritt,
Yep.
4 to Moore,
Yep.
and 5 to Butters.
Oh God, it's the perfect week for Butters.
I think he would have shot a load as he sent that with Butters at 5 votes.
It is the perfect 20-vote performance from Zach Butters this week. It's only happened a few times this season.
Yes.
I believe Dacos got a 20-voter.
And
Jeremy
Cameron.
Cameron got a 20-voter.
Yep.
I think we might be forgetting someone else
I
who
think
got one.
Dacos went close a second
He
time.
might have gotten a close 20-voter,
Yeah.
but definitely at least the 3rd time. Congrats, Zach Butters, the unanimous MVP of the week. Next up, it is the flagship segment of the Barely Touched Him podcast. It is, of course, Adopt Your Boy.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going a bit louder
put some
this week.
sauce on it.
Yeah, is it-
I like that.
Like a bit of sauce. Like a bit of sauce on my Patrick. Patrick had a rough week this week, of course, playing for the Crows at
We
that
can get a close up of
absolute
Patrick
dog track of a ground in Ballarat. Yes, I'm fast making enemies of the entire township of Ballarat. Don't care. Paddy had 16 disposals at 69% efficiency. Hey-oh. Very regular week for Paddy. That's about average for him,
He
which
still had
is
77 in fantasies, so that was
yeah,
nice.
you know,
for
that's
me.
fine. That's fine.
pretty good.
Look, he's keeping his spot in the side. They're not going to drop him over that.
No.
You can't drop him over that because there were many worse players that did less in that Crom outfit. So Paddy's tracking along just fine. Who have the Crom got next week? Let me just have a gander here. The Crom are playing last game of the round, Brisbane. At
Okay.
Adelaide Oval, though.
Oh,
So
that's
they're
Adelaide.
back. They're back in the Crom Dome. And I think some
Crom Dome.
magic's going to... The Crom Dome. I think some magic's going to happen. I wonder what matchup he's going to have. Are we going to see
Yeah.
Paddy one-on-one with a
I
bit of a
like-
Charlie Cameron,
I
perhaps?
like the matchup of Port v Brisbane. That's
I
a good
reckon he
matchup.
might go to Zorko. I reckon you get him on
Oh,
on
so he's
Zorko.
going to get belted.
No, make Zorko accountable because Paddy's going to get the
Well,
ball.
they're the same size.
Zorko's a bit wider.
Hmm.
He's got a bit more girth than Patrick. But Paddy's going to get the ball. What are you going to do about it, Dane? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to fucking run off and do your
Belt
own
him.
thing?
Probably
Or are
punch
you
him.
going to try and tag my boy as you should because he's going to run rings around you?
He will probably punch him.
Next up, Sammy Flanders update. What's going down in Flanders town?
I've not heard from Sam, but I would have to assume he's playing this week.
I can tell you what his
Surely.
VFL numbers were. 'cause
Yes,
Yeah, bring
that's
them
what
up.
Corey should have looked up.
I had
you
a
gotta-
feeling
you
you
gotta-
Because if you looked at his numbers, they were incredible. 34 touches,
Oh!
10 marks,
Love
5
that.
tackles.
Oh, goodness
done.
me.
Well done, Sammy.
Top fantasy player in the VFL.
So it's an immediate call-up.
Yeah,
he's,
I mean,
he's
it
got to
would
get
have
the
to
call-up.
be. But and also, I mean, they're going to get a couple of players back on top of him as well.
Yep.
So
is Weller back?
This week? He should be back.
So Weller comes back in off half-back for a bit of dash.
Yep.
Sanders comes into half-forward, maybe rotating through the guts. All of a sudden, the Suns are up against the Doggies next week, though, at home. So it's going to be tough in
It
that
is tough.
midfield.
It is
but
huge.
if anyone can do it, Corey's boy, Sammy Flanders,
Suns
can do it. And Joel, have you got a Joey Richards update? Is he ever going to debut?
He should be playing VFL next week. Collingwood had the bye,
Yeah, okay.
so hopefully this week
All right.
he plays.
Well, shouts out. And also, shout out to Paddy for responding to my Instagram DM. He responded, He
I
said
saw that.
that some people had actually sent him the video of us of the Adopt a Boy segment, so he was already aware that I adopted him. So you know,
that.
that's we love a bit of back and forth.
We'll get him on board.
And just nothing but love and support for our beautiful sons. All right, next up, we've got the second flagship segment. Usually we do this in a bit of a double barrel of the Barely Touched Him podcast. We're checking in on the St Kilda Saints and our lovely boy Joel Bernard,
Bernard.
Is Joel okay? How you doing, mate?
Honestly, I'm doing great. I thought, besides Machito going down, that was upsetting. But King's return of the King, he played well for his
Good
first
Lord of the
game
Rings
back.
reference there. That was really solid. That was
Yeah.
really, really nice.
Look, he played great. Sinks, he's a gorgeous boy with a gorgeous mullet. I
Yes.
love him. Higo has flown under the radar, I think he's sitting right up in the top 10 of the Coleman medalists.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, after as a small forward as well, which is going to be
Well,
rarer.
he's been playing as a tall forward, but he's a midget, so
Yes,
he's-
yes. Well, like that's usually.
And I can say that because I'm also fucking
usually
tiny.
the only guys that are up in the top 10 of the Coleman as smalls. It's like your Charlie Camerons, your Papleys, your.
Jack Higgins.
Yeah.
Is that the same Jack Higgins that you
You were
absolutely
bagging out.
tore
You were
into?
bagging him out
last week?
What I was
You
doing
looked
was
into
pleading.
the camera.
Yeah, I pleaded
You-
with him not to kick around the body because it scares the living crap out of me.
Yeah, well, maybe he doesn't need your advice, Joe. Have you,
I-
do you ever
no,
think about that?
You know
He's
what
a
I-
professional footballer.
Oh, just make
No,
me
go on. No,
nervous.
what else did you like about the Saints this week, mate?
Look, I just think we had to go in there for away from home. We take the win. We beat Hawks this week, and we go
Yep.
into the bye
Yep.
8-3.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
Exactly.
And they're still
8-3
fifth on the ladder.
8-3 at the bye would look good.
Yep. Look, honestly, it's better than I thought they were going to be at this stage when we were doing our preseason
Yes.
predictions. As always, we're going to chime in. Where do you think they're going to finish on the ladder, and how do you think they will go in finals if they make it?
Top 5.
So they will
They
not
are
sink
in the
lower
top
than
5.
fifth. They are fifth at the moment. You are predicting they won't sink any lower than fifth.
Okay, they definitely won't sink any lower than 6th.
Okay, all right. Okay, top 6 is your bet. And
right.
how do they go in finals? So they'd be playing in an elimination final to start with. Do they win that?
Prelim. I
So I
still
think
think they make
They
a prelim.
get to a
So I
prelim.
I think last week we whittled you down to 7th.
No, you didn't.
No,
I'm
he said
pretty
six.
sure
I think
he's
he
got
said
you
six
down
last
to
week.
7.
I think he's holding steady on the worm here. I think he's holding
all right,
steady.
All right.
It checks out. It
But
checks
Joel
out.
is okay.
Joel's okay. He's cautiously optimistic
And
still.
it was a fun game
but
to watch.
there's still room for the Hindenburg
Granted,
to come
we really
crashing down.
We really only did watch the second half because it was on at the same time.
We did the double screen
But it
action.
was
Yeah.
oh, that's right. We had the
We had
double
the double
screen.
screen. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was very fun.
Yeah, it
and
was.
hopefully, if we do stream some games again, we'll have that advertised on Instagram and
Yes,
whatnot.
well,
if anyone
thank you
wants
for
to
we
get
still
involved.
had some viewers, which
Yeah, we
was
did.
pretty cool.
It
It
was
was not
good.
bad. It was not
a lot
bad.
of engagement as well.
Yes. Next up, we're going to go just usually after the two flagship segments. It's kind of a free for all with what we're doing, but we got to talk about the Carlton situation. I think now they've come under a lot of scrutiny this week, not only from media, not only from us. We give them shit every week. But the fans.
From the fans.
From the fans.
That
I forget.
3AW caller was
It was 3AW.
wild.
I forget the guy's name. I should have jotted down his name, but
Mate.
that is one of the all-time sprays
Yeah.
I have heard on the fucking radio. And he didn't sound like an idiot either. He was just like
No.
he
It was
was
definitely Steve
I've-
from Lygon Street.
I've got mixed feelings about it. Like he certainly had some points, and what he was saying wasn't stupid, but I just when you get to that level of emotion and whatnot for where their team is, or for a team to be bad at all, it just kind of cringes me out a little bit because
Yeah.
I fucking love footy as much as the next guy, and I love Collingwood as much as the next guy, but I mean it's a footy team, and
Yeah,
if
but
you,
if
if
you
you
know
lose,
why,
if you lose,
Corey?
you lose. It's like, oh, they're bad.
You've had a flag. You've
can't-
had success.
yeah,
He
we've
hasn't.
had a lot of lost flags as well.
I know. Yeah, but you've seen one. He hasn't.
I understand where you're coming from, Corey,
in a
but
long
also
time.
we've been pretty spoiled with the success that Collingwood
I
has
know
had.
how he feels because I've been sold a promise and haven't had one myself.
Yeah, it's very that's why I said I compared it to Essendon and to St Kilda and
Yeah.
to it is
Yep.
a very different vibe going for a club that has just had no success in your lifetime.
And they
It
have a
is-
list now that really should.
Oh, let's get into this.
When was the
because-
last time they were properly competitive?
Well,
At
let me
the end- the
get
start
in.
of the
This is
20
a perfect
the
segue
start of the 2000s?
to read this article. This was posted at the end of last season on sportingnews.com. Shout out to Aidan Cellini, who wrote this. AFL Finals 2022. After Carlton got knocked out and finished 9th last year, this article was written. When was the last time Carlton made the finals? Carlton were all but set to return to the finals in 2022, beginning the year 8-2, and
Yeah, I
taking
forget how much they
the
fired.
competition by storm, led by skipper Patrick Cripps. However, due to a horrid run of injuries to key players such as Jacob Wiedering, Mitch McGovern, and Mark Pittonet, the Blues' playing list was left slightly bare and hindered their progression toward the top 4. In round 11, they faced arch rivals Collingwood, but fell short in one of the games of the year, losing by 4 points. The loss was the catalyst of a disappointing second half of the year, where the club was gearing for a top 4 finish, but now may miss finals altogether. However, they can take plenty of positives from their round 22 match with the reigning premiers Melbourne, who stole the victory in the dying seconds as Keziah Pickett slotted a snap late in the final term. I remember that. So this was actually written just before the Collingwood game, just before it. And God, it just spicer. So who did Carlton play? So they last made finals, in 2013.
Yes, okay.
And they didn't even finish 8th that year. They finished 9th, and they got in because Essendon did roids.
Right.
So they
okay.
got in 2013. Well, I can just hear the Essendon fans right now. Actually, it wasn't roids. It was peptide. You know what I mean.
Peptides, yep.
You know what I mean. They did something naughty. They got kicked out of the finals. Carlton played Richmond in an elimination final that year
Yep.
and beat them by like 20 points. I think Judd was BOG. That was the last time Carlton got into the finals, 2013. So it has been 10 years since then, and it's been a lot of fucking hurt. It's been a lot of heartache. It's been a lot of what ifs.
I think the reason why why people like that 3AW caller get so upset is not because they are really bad. It's because they are on the verge so often.
Yeah.
And
It's the blue ball.
Like last year, they started 8-2.
Yeah.
Like that's a phenomenal start. 8
Yep.
and 2. That's you can't wish for much better than 8
It's
and 2.
almost a bit like St Kilda's start this year, isn't it? It's almost identical. I wonder what could happen in the second half of the season.
There is something that happens every year that you can set your watch by, where they have the numbers, they have the talent. I mean, especially the last few years, they've got an incredible list. They've got one of the best lists in the team, in the league rather, but it all just seems to fall apart.
The list is a huge one because you look at what they have got in their spine. They've got not one Coleman medalist, but two in their forward line, in Charlie Curnow and Harry
That
Mackay.
is absurd.
They've
And
got-
how badly Mackay is playing this year is fucked.
They've got the
It's
reigning
shocking.
They've got the reigning Brownlow medalist in Patrick Cripps, one of the best contested midfielders in the comp, if not the best.
Yep.
They've got Sam Walsh, rising star winner, is probably going to win a Brownlow at some point when all is said and done. They've got Jacob Wiedering, who is maybe the best one-on-one key defender in the air.
And they've been misusing Wiedering
Big
this
time.
year.
Big time.
Big time.
They've got off halfback Doherty and Sard, which is it's an intimidating list to look at. This is a list that should be top
And we haven't
four.
even mentioned
Fantastic.
Chera.
Yeah, Chera, Kennedy,
Yeah.
so many guys that
And
are.
I think here's the real big question, though, is, okay, we've listed all these great players and how talented they are. Okay, so what's left then? Because the only the only thing people can look at then is the game plan and the coaching.
Well,
Whether that's, I'm not saying the head coach, but the coaching as a whole.
it could also be you've got to look at that, but also the yips and mental demons can be contagious
Well,
to
it was-
a team.
it was very
and this
evident.
seems like this is the players hesitating in games, second guessing
And
themselves.
you can see
not,
that against Collingwood. And maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't a great yardstick because Collingwood is
the best team in the competition.
head and shoulders above everyone else. But over and over again, you saw it. You see the line of Collingwood players. You see the structure. You see what they're trying to do, and they execute it. It's drilled into them. It works. They have a system. And then on the flip side, you had Carlton. They were just standing around in a blob of a mess and not really doing anything of substance.
So
just
yeah,
banging
maybe
it
that is
long.
game plan job. Like maybe that is like assistant coaching. It's line coaches.
And
It's
getting
zones.
back to what I was saying earlier, with the whole Dimma Hardwick thing, because he has made that call midway through the year, there is so much more pressure on the Carlton board, the coaching panel.
Well,
Because
they've
what's going to happen now?
it's a recurring meme that we say on the podcast. If someone has the full support of the board, they're fucking gone. And
exactly.
they've just
But
come
how
out
many,
and
how
said,
many times does Carlton need to? I mean, I feel like every couple of years they're restructuring and clearing
well,
out.
their last premiership was 1995.
95.
That was
yeah.
that was their
but
last
They were
premiership.
playing in grand finals in the early 2000s, I think.
Were
No.
they? No,
I'm pretty sure they
no,
were.
they
Were they
weren't.
not?
The end of the
no,
90s
they weren't.
they were.
No, they were. They haven't played in a grand final in the 2000s, I think, unless it was 2000.
Okay.
Essendon won that year. I can't remember who they
Essendon,
played in the grand
maybe
final.
Brisbane.
Well, Brisbane had the three-peat 01 to
Yeah.
03.
Yeah,
they
after
they
that,
didn't play
yeah.
Carlton there. Carlton have not
Yeah,
played in
no,
a grand
I think you
final
might
then.
be right.
So it's 95 is the last, like the 90s were the last time the Blues were a really
interesting
solid
fact.
team.
The 95 grand final, my parents were there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken, it might have
Shout
been.
out to
it
Corey's parents.
may have-
Shout out. We are in their house.
It may have been part of their honeymoon, if I'm not getting that wrong.
Saucy.
I think it was part of their honeymoon.
Yeah, nice. That's I'd love to do that for a honeymoon. Go and watch the game and
They,
get
they did
pissed.
go to a nice. I think they went to Cairns or something, but I think they.
Oh
Stopped,
yeah,
stopped
beautiful.
through.
So I like Voss's coach. I think that you've got to stick with it. Like you can't just sack
But
a
there
guy.
is more pressure on now
There's-
because
I
of
agree.
Hardwick. And
There's
Ken
more pressure
Hinkley,
on him.
They've already said that he basically has to win a flag to keep his job.
You've
Ken-
just got to stop being a meme club, and like in order to do that, you need some level of September success. If you don't want to go the way of Essendon and heaven forbid St Kilda,
But
then
it doesn't seem so hard to me. Like all you have to do is look at clubs that have worse lists.
you
and
should be
use
in
them,
charge of 'em.
Use them as
Yeah.
a case study. What is Adelaide doing that we're not doing? Why are they so exciting? Why are we not exciting?
Do they have a review,
Just-
like a full internal
Just
review? Or
really
Yeah.
look at a club as a case study. Take what you can
well,
get
who's
out of it.
who's on Vossi's assistant coaching panel? Let's have a look
Ash
here.
Hansen.
Yeah,
is
Ash
there.
Hansen, yes. Carlton coaching staff. I should have looked this up beforehand, but now I'm just curious. So Aaron Hamill is their backline coach. Tim Clark is their midfield coach. They got Luke Powers, head of development.
Jesus.
Which
Ash
is a
Hansen.
very good head
Matthew
development.
Cruz is their ruck coach.
Okay,
Aaron
interesting.
Greaves, Torren Breaker, Brad Ebert is their development coach, and Tom Lonergan from Geelong.
Okay.
So
I
there's a
think it's
lot of
game
like,
plan.
there's a lot of players that have had success. There's a lot of Are any of these guys Clarko/Dimmer assistants?
No,
That's the question.
No.
That's the question.
Not that I can see there. No.
Well, maybe they need to get an assistant that has worked under Clarko or Dimmer.
Could be. It's a winning formula.
It's a winning formula. I'm just saying what all the other clubs are doing, what all the other successful coaches are
I mean,
doing.
honestly, if you could get Adam Simpson to the Blues, I think that would turn them around. That'd be a pretty quick way to do
Well,
it.
now
Or
that the
like
dominoes are
Choco
falling.
Williams.
potentially.
Ken Hinkley.
Can it? Whoa.
No,
I
think
That's the
I think
thing. It's all gonna flow.
Nathan Buckley.
Simpson took
Oh, he
Simpson
would.
took a middling Simpson took a middling club and made them great.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Carlton are, a middling club
Very
with a great
much.
list. He can do it again with Carlton.
Well, so bottom line is we don't really fucking know what to do with Carlton. It's tough, but we've got some suggestions. Hire some people that work
Look,
under some
I don't
people.
know what to do, but also I think it's very funny.
It's very
love
very, very
It's-
funny.
it's
We're here for the
extraordinarily
ride.
funny.
We're here for the memes. So next up, we've just got in other news, rounded out the pod before the mailbag. Nuggets to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise
The
history.
Kentucky Fried Nuggets.
Clean
The
sweep.
Denver Nuggets,
Nuggets.
actually. The Denver Nuggets, they swept the Los Angeles Lakers.
Clean sweep of the
4-zip.
Lakers.
LeBron is out.
Interestingly, with LeBron, he's become, well, I guess he always has been, a bit of a famous crybaby.
Yeah.
And apparently, I only caught highlights of these games, but the refs were giving the Lakers every
Yeah.
single
They're
opportunity.
going to do that for LeBron.
They
They're
could
going to do it.
possibly give him,
Yeah.
and they still got sweep. So
Nikola Jokic.
when
is-
Yes.
when the
just
Nuggets won,
the Joker.
LeBron did not hang around for a microsecond. He was
Oh.
off the court and gone.
so was Davis. I saw.
Yeah, well, like, he did a bit of a carry job on the box score though. LeBron, I think he got fucking like 40 odd. Like
He's
it-
39.
he did
He's
everything he
39
did.
years
He's
old.
39. I'm a big LeBron fan. Like I am. You called him a crybaby, which is a bit That
He's a
upsets me.
crybaby.
Dude, like, it's LeBron James. He can do what the fuck he wants. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
But this is the thing. He's a great player, and he's 39. He's got this incredible legacy. But I mean, you look at refereeing in NBA towards superstars versus non-superstars.
Absolutely, yeah.
How much of his legacy and dominance is because he is LeBron, and how long ago would that have ended if it was a fair game? That's my question.
No way. No
Mate,
way. He'd still be the greatest. He'd still be the greatest.
There is countless.
He's not the greatest.
I'm not entertaining this
There is
argument.
countless
Not
He's
entertaining
not
this
the
argument.
greatest.
There is
Yes, he is.
countless
Yes, he is.
compilations on YouTube that go for a very long time of play after play after play after play that are just ludicrous. That he can just do whatever he wants.
Let me be clear. I agree officiating in the NBA is a joke.
Yeah.
It is a complete joke.
It's a farce.
But to say that has in any way tinted LeBron's legacy on the game is farcical. That man
I don't
has
think
been
it has, but he's
that
not the
good
greatest.
for that long. We can get into the LeBron versus Jordan debate another time. That's
not
another
even close.
podcast. To me, it's LeBron. Fast and Furious 10 is coming out, boys.
There's
Well, it's
another
come
one?
out, hasn't it?
It's come out. I'm not. So Nadia and I are binging all of these because we're just obsessed with trash. We want to watch shit things, and we're up to 6. We just finished 6, and I'm keen
That's
to
too
watch
many.
this.
Can I ask a serious question?
go
Do
for it.
you
Yeah.
live your life a quarter mile at a time?
It's about family, Joel.
It's about family.
You know,
Do you
you've
go out
got
the front
to.
and race for pinks.
Yeah, we got to. It's all about the family. Rip Paul Walker. Let's drink some Coronas.
What was your
You
favourite
can have a
movie?
beer as long as it's a Corona.
The best one so far has been number 5.
Five was-
Number
yeah,
5
that
was
was
the
my
best
favourite.
one. The one that is it number 5. The one that I've watched them recently. I should know. They end with the chase scene with the giant vault where it's a
Yeah,
cube
and
they're going through
Ludacris
the
singing
streets
at the
and it's
end.
like
Oh,
ludicrous.
yeah.
Is there not 2 of them that they're dragging behind
Yeah,
Skylines?
well, like they do the bait and switch with the fake
So-
vault and the real
so
vault.
one of my-
5's the best.
One of
5's
my
the best.
favourite things used to be on YouTube. They don't so much do it anymore because the movies have become just so ludicrous.
Yes,
But,
pun
back-
intended. Ludicrous.
Back,
Yes.
I've got a funny story about Ludacris in
go
Fast
on.
and Furious as well.
Yes.
But there's engineers and scientists on YouTube that break down like scenes in movies and how impossible they are with real world physics.
Yes.
And one of the best ones I ever saw was the 2 R34 Skylines. Were they Skylines?
I don't know.
I think they might have been
Fast
Skylines.
cars.
Dragging
Tracy Chapman's.
the,
Brum, brum.
the bank vaults
Yes.
like through
Yeah,
the
yeah,
streets.
yeah.
And like the horsepower that you would need to skull drag like several tons of steel.
And they're not only dragging them, they're like
They're
drifting around
drifting and going very
corners.
fast. So like, what
And also,
planet are these guys on?
there's so much collateral damage that happens in these fucking
yeah,
car chase
yeah, yeah.
scenes. Like, but you don't see the people that they're clearly killing.
I
Like,
want
lots
a
of people.
movie about the damage and how
it's just I've
So
just
just-
I've just parked my little Nissan fucking Teeter on the side of the road, and I'm just going to my work at the bank, and Paul Walker has just drifted past with a giant square of a vault that's obliterated
So
me.
just
It's
quickly-
obliterated me in my car.
Just quickly on Ludacris.
Yeah, go on.
The reason Ludacris is in those films
Yeah.
is because of Ja Rule. So
He was in the first one.
He was in
Ja
the
Rule
first
was in
one.
the first one.
So he was supposed to be in as many as they made.
Yeah.
And after the first one, which was a huge success,
Yes.
he got paid a couple of $1 million to do it or whatever. I think it was
Yep.
$2 million.
Yep.
And he felt the first one was made on a surprisingly low budget.
Yep.
And so he got the $2 million, huge success.
Yep.
Too Fast, Too Furious. They offered him. I can't remember the numbers, but it was a lot more, like
For the
10,
time.
10,
Yeah, yeah.
15 million
Yep.
perhaps, let's say. And he said, no, I want like 50. And I want a percentage.
Ja Rule.
And the studio was like,
No.
no.
We'll get
like,
Ludacris
we're not even going to
That's
negotiate.
ludicrous.
Like, you are gone.
And I'll say this: Ja Rule makes better music than Ludacris. I'll say
Ludacris
that.
comes in,
Yeah.
right, and now he's been in like 9 more movies and made possibly hundreds of millions of dollars.
Also had the Justin Bieber collab at the
Ja
time,
Rule-
which was hot shit.
Ja
Like,
Rule has made the worst business decision of his life. And Ja Rule's not a great actor.
no,
If-
he was terrible.
If you
He's
look at
just
the-
got a sick voice.
If
Like
you look
every
at the
time you hear
intonation,
him,
the intonation of his lines in the original movie, he's
Yeah.
not even reading them
Nah,
right.
he's not.
He
He's not.
puts the expression on the complete wrong words in a sentence, and somehow it's like they must have filmed 10 cuts
Yeah.
And the director's just going, whatever, just use that one. He's
Man,
not getting
Ja Rule has some bangers though. Like he does, living it up, always
one.
on time,
good one.
mesmerised.
Didn't
He's
go
got
so well with that Fire Festival, though.
Yeah, God, I forget that was Ja, wasn't
Anyway,
it?
Fast and Furious aside, there is some more sports.
There is some more sports.
Manchester
What else has
City
been happening?
won the Premier
They've
League.
won the Premier League. Arsenal have bottled it.
To my boys, Nottingham Forest.
Completely bottled it. Arsenal have been at the top of the Premier League table for, I want to say, 80% of this season. They had an 8-point lead
And
a
they
few weeks
shit
ago.
themselves.
And they have royally shit the bed. And Man City, as Man City do, are always going to charge late. They've just picked up so many wins. Erling Haaland's broken the record for most goals scored in a Premier League season.
Yes.
He is
20,
the best.
26, 27?
No, it was 35.
Oh,
I think.
Jesus
something like that.
Christ.
It was something like, I think it was 35 or, yeah, he's broken
Fuck
Alan
me.
Shearer's record for most goals scored
It
in
was
the
a
Premier League
30-year-old record, I believe.
Yeah.
And
It's,
he's only 20, early
he's
20s.
22.
I did
believe.
see a tweet
He's-
from, what's the guy's name? Shearer?
Shearer, Alan
Yeah,
Shearer.
I saw a
yeah.
tweet from him congratulating him and saying, I didn't think it would take 30 years, couldn't go to a better guy. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, he's just a insanely freakish player.
Yeah.
And
he's-
looks so
looks
young.
kind of weird.
yeah, he's a weird looking
Yeah,
bloke.
look at
He's
him.
a weird
like,
looking
it's
beard.
something
Yeah.
not right there.
Well, he's also the best player in the world comfortably. Like, you've got your Mbappe, and people have been saying he's been the best in the world for a while. I think Haaland, the best player, scores the most goals to me, and Haaland is unstoppable.
Yeah,
If
can't stop.
Norway were a good international team, the debate would be over. But
Well,
because Norway don't make World Cups and Haaland's their only fucking
But
good
could
player.
they build a team
is he
around him
Norwegian?
now?
He's Norwegian.
Oh,
yeah.
For
He's,
some reason, I thought he was Swedish.
I mean, it's all the same up
But
there
this
anyway.
could
but
start
he's-
something for them as a country.
It
and-
could. It could.
build
Like,
around
it's
him.
Scandinavian. Like, they're not a completely devoid of football
the
part of the world.
Their problem with not just soccer, but all sports
very
is
cold.
their population.
Oh, that
Yes.
They've only got 500,000 people in each one of those countries.
Yeah.
They are very tiny
So
countries.
all of Scandinavia needs to combine together into one country. So, like Denmark, Sweden, Finland,
the main outlier
Norway.
is Winter Olympics, but that's
Yes.
because most of the world doesn't compete in them.
That's true.
Ice hockey, most notably, they got the gold medal.
Norway did.
8 years ago.
Oh, very nice.
Sweden did.
Sweden, yeah.
So they
Sweden.
beat USA, Canada, and that was like their biggest sporting achievement
Sweden's
ever.
got a lot of good ice hockey players.
Sweden
so-
does seem to be like
Same
the
with the
big
Czech
brother
Re-
of the Scandinavian
Yeah,
countries,
Czech
not just with
Republic as
sport.
well.
They've got IKEA.
the problem-
What does Norway have to compare to IKEA? Not much,
The reason
really.
they'll never compete fully in the World Cup is their population. There's just not enough people.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got a question for the pod. What are your top 4 favourite
wait.
movies?
There's one more sport.
One more sport.
One more sport.
mailbag questions that you just.
No, I just
Oh,
thought
okay,
I'd spring it on you. But one more sport then, Corey?
Brooks Koepka wins the PGA Championship.
And also Michael Block with the fucking
Yes.
the dunk
So-
hole in one.
so
Oh my
Brooks,
God,
Brooks,
yes.
Brooks Koepka's won his 5th major. He's a live golfer,
Yep.
which is we love the spice.
Yeah,
of
we
a
do
live
love the
golfer
spice.
winning.
He
Similar
does
to the
seem like a
Masters.
bit of a tosser too.
He does.
Yeah, he does. He does.
From all reports, he was a tosser, but people are saying he's actually kind of
He's
cool
coming
now.
good. All right, okay. Well, good
But
for
that
him.
was-
People can change.
That was majorly eclipsed by Michael Block, who is a
Oh.
PGA coach earning $125 per session.
He's not a professional golfer. Not a professional golfer.
It's like if you go to your local course and it's like, oh, here's our PGA pro, and it's Dennis, and
Yeah.
he'll teach you to swing how to swing better. And so, have you ever won anything, Dennis? He's like, oh God, no.
Yeah. So that's Michael is their
Block.
Dennis. Yes.
He got in by winning a few tournaments and qualifying. And I mean, he didn't win this one, but he put on a
He
mighty
got in the
fine
top
effort.
15.
He got in the top 15, including a hole in one, which was incredible.
Which was a dunk hole in one.
Yeah, it was
Like,
a dunk hole in one.
So which means it doesn't bounce. It just goes
Goes
boom, straight in the fucking hole.
Exceedingly rare.
Could not believe the footage.
He was using a set of 2013 clubs.
Oh.
And if you look at them close up, they are beaten to hell. They've got lead tape on the back of the heads.
Yes.
It is absolutely incredible. He earned himself $230K US
Oh,
for
man.
winning. So that's like, what, 2,000
Just
lessons.
incredible.
A huge story. And he's immediately earned the call up to the next competition, which is fantastic news.
Shouts out to Michael Block.
you'd
Get
think-
on Live Golf.
You
do
would
it.
think that Greg Norman would be because
You've gotta do
It's
it.
such a fan story.
Yeah.
After it, the reporters were more interested in him.
Oh,
than,
way more than Brooks. Way more than Brooks.
So you would think Greg Norman would be on the blower, offering him just an absurd amount of money.
Yes.
To play for Live.
All right, so here's a bit of content farming, boys, because I reckon I can farm this into a clip. your 4 favourite movies in no particular order. Let's start. Corey, we'll name one at a time each.
Yes.
So, Corey, you go first. Name a film that would be on your Mount Rushmore of films.
The Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh, I've never seen it.
What?
I've never seen The Royal Tenenbaums.
Wes Anderson is my
I've never
favourite
heard of
director.
it.
I need to watch more Wes Anderson
Yeah,
films.
he's an auteur guy.
I loved Isle of Dogs.
I like,
that was really good.
All of my favourite movies are from like auteur guys.
Yep.
Where you can, if I knew nothing about it, didn't know who made it, who was in it, and you showed it to me, I could tell you, oh, this is a Wes Anderson movie. I love that shit.
I'll chime in with Donnie Darko.
It's average.
Love Donnie Darko,
Average
but it's
at
more
best.
like I loved it growing up, and it's. I understand that it's a bit of a it is a teenager pick, but I'll always love the film, and I find myself watching it as a comfort film. I like it a lot.
It suffered for me because of when it came out.
9/11.
And every,
Well, that's why it flopped in cinemas.
Not just that, but it gained a cult following in the 10 years after that, and all of the people that really loved it. They
tossers.
just annoyed me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because of how much they loved it. I'm like, yeah I get it. And
It
they're like,
stands up
"It's
as a
edgy,
piece of-
and it's got this. I'm like, no, I've seen it. Like, I get
It
it.
stands up as an 80s period piece. It stands up as a horror film. Or a thriller film, rather. And it stands up as like a fucking good Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
What about
like
you,
a
Joel?
Really good one. Joel, what's on your film Mount Rushmore? If you want to watch a movie that's one of your faves, what's in the 4?
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Yeah, look fair.
Is that because it
No,
was
no,
mentioned
no,
earlier?
no.
He only has space for one film in his head at a time. No, good call, mate.
that was the
It's
best
a
out of the
great
3.
film. It's
Okay,
a great
not bad,
film.
Not bad.
I'm a Fellowship guy. I love the first one, but I love all of them.
So
I
I go 3, 1, and then 2.
Yeah,
I
fair.
don't like the trilogy at all.
What?
Don't like it.
What don't you like about Lord of the
They
Rings?
skipped out my favourite character from the
Oh,
books.
Tom Bombadil.
Tom Bombadil.
I
You are
can't
Tom
read, so it's
Bombadil.
all
That's
good.
why. All right. Name another one, Corey. Go.
The Wizard of Oz.
Oh God, yeah,
Judy-
classic.
Judy Garland.
Yeah. Oh shit,
Fantastic.
Honey, back in her day.
Now, I know what people are thinking. People that really like The Wizard of Oz, it's usually a calling card for the
Like a Disney adult.
LGBT community.
Oh, okay.
And
Fuck,
it's
we're
not
really getting
that.
into something now.
Yeah.
I grew up on Wizard of Oz. I wore out the tape. It was getting fuzzy by the
Yeah,
end.
wow,
There was
okay.
one day, maybe it's because I'm a little bit neurodivergent, but I watched it 6 times in one day once.
Yep.
Just
Nice.
kept rewinding it. Love it.
Yep.
Love the shit.
I am going to go with Finding Nemo. I absolutely love
Interesting.
Finding Nemo. I think I'm going with the things of comfort films. Films I've watched more than any other films ever. I was the same with Finding Nemo that I think you were with Wizard of Oz. I thrashed that DVD so much, and it's just a beautiful film, not just a kids' film. I cry every time. The soundtrack, the CGI of the underwater, all of the fishies. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Love that.
It's funny, like the Australian caricatures, like the great Barry Humphries, rest in peace, playing Bruce the Shark. Fucking like all the fish in the fish tank scene, the dentist. So good, so good. Love Finding Nemo.
Love it.
Joel.
While we're on that, train of thought, I'm going to go with Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Because
Oh,
That was a
deep.
dog shit movie.
I played that
Defend
so
yourself.
much.
That was
Defend your.
dog
I've never
shit
seen it.
movie.
I've never seen
Oh,
Shark Boy and Lava
you don't
Girl.
wanna see
I
it.
had the
It's bad.
the blue and red
bad.
Isn't
glasses.
it just shit Spy Kids?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
exactly what
okay,
it is.
all right.
But I had these blue and red glasses that came with it, so he chucked
Yeah.
them on and
At the home, in the DVD case, they came with it. Yeah, all right, yeah.
so I flogged that.
Have any of the actors from Shark Boy and Lava Girl continued making films?
No, but
who
I
was
read
the
an
Twilight
article-
Guy? The one that was the werewolf in Twilight.
Oh,
was it?
Team
Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, he was in it.
Was he
Okay.
Shark Boy?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yes,
no,
he
no.
was.
He wasn't Shark Boy.
Was Taylor
fucking
Lautner
was.
Shark Boy?
He was.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty legit.
Oh,
All
okay.
right. Well, so
Good on him.
What about the film do you like apart from the pretty glasses, Joel?
Well, it just back then. it was
What
just
an
like
awful pick.
I'm sticking with
We've
it.
defended ours quite
Out of
well.
all of the
so you've
movies
gone
that
with Lord of the Rings,
exist.
Return of the King, strong start, and then Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Look,
I rate it. This is why I did this segment. I knew we were going to get gold out of you. You go next, Corey. You go next.
I'll take It's a coin for one position. I can't pick both of them. It's a coin flip between Lock, Stock, and Snatch.
Oh,
I have to put a
yeah, Guy Ritchie one. You got to love a bit of Guy Ritchie one.
Because I really like auteurs. And
I fucking love Guy Ritchie.
And Guy Ritchie
Yeah.
is one of those where you know that it's a Guy Ritchie movie. And Snatch, in terms of rewatchability, if I had to put one on right now, I'd put on Snatch.
Yeah, cool. It's rewatchability, I think, is coming into it for me. Like, there's so many films I could put in there. It's like, that was amazing. It was incredible, the artistry. But how many times am I going to watch it again is the question.
Yes.
And a film that I have watched fucking so much, Back to the Future 2.
Oh, that's a good
Back
one.
to the Future 2.
one.
More so than the first.
Have you watched the Michael J. Fox documentary?
No, I
came
know I'm
out.
going to cry a lot if I do watch
It's
it.
not.
So.
It's not like that.
Okay, all right,
I
okay.
thought I would too. I said to Chloe that I downloaded it, and I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it on here." And I watched it. I was like, "Oh, no, it's actually not that sad at all."
all right. I'll
Because
give it a
the
look.
whole point behind it is that he is like just punching through.
He's
and like,
getting on.
He's just
He's
doing
getting
it,
on.
and he has accepted
Good on you,
it.
Michael J. Fox.
So it's not
But
really
yeah,
sad at all.
Back to the Future 2 is, I think, it eclipses the first one, which is already a fucking amazing film. Just everything about it. It's such a great comfort movie. The soundtrack, Michael J. Fox, what an actor. Just all of the cheesy Biff scenes in number 2 as well when he's the villain. Like, they're so good. Joel, I'm keen for your third pick, mate. What are you going to throw at us here?
Limitless.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I liked it.
That movie has got
I really
so
liked
many
it.
plot holes that you
Yeah.
could drive a fucking car through. It is insane.
What if you had a pill
So-
that made you the
But also,
president?
the TV show they did as a spin-off was really good too.
So-
was it, Joel?
Yeah.
Was
out
it?
Out of all the plot holes in that movie, of which there are literally hundreds.
Limitless plot holes.
Yes. So he didn't invent the pill. It gets given to him, right?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he becomes the smartest guy on earth.
Yes.
Out of all the people in the supply chain that gave
No
it to
one
him,
else thought
why
to do
didn't
it.
they become the smartest people on earth?
Yeah,
Why is
because
he
they're
the
not
best?
as because
Guys,
they're not
we're
as hot as
here to
Bradley
pick
Cooper.
apart this movie. We're here to
Yes, we are. Yeah, that's the question. So, you rewatch Limitless a lot, do you? The movie, you watch it all the time.
Yeah, quite
Yeah?
often,
All
every
right.
now and again. And I'm not a big movie guy because I can't.
Yeah.
I can more focus
That's
through
becoming
a
very apparent.
TV show.
Shark Boy and Life Girl.
Oh,
Fuck me.
okay, Corey, what is your fourth film?
I'll throw in a recent one. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That was awesome. I liked that movie
it's
as well.
one of the only movies in my history of going to the cinema that I've gone to and seen twice.
Yep.
I do not do that. I don't read books twice. I don't watch movies at the cinema twice. But I went and saw that twice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good pick.
A24 is kicking absolute goals.
I'm not.
At the moment.
I'm not going to have an A24 film on here just because like I have to pick this last one. But
Yeah.
Midsummer and Hereditary are two of my
Yes.
favorite films ever.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions.
I went and saw Beau is Afraid recently.
I
which
need to
is
see it.
Ari
Ari Aster. I
Aster's
need to
new
see
one.
it. Oh my god.
It's a lot.
I need to watch it. I know.
It's a lot.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. But my fourth pick, and this is like, it's such a. This is probably the film that I have watched statistically the most. I'm just railing them off here. It's got to be Austin Powers Goldmember.
Oh, it's a good one.
I could go number one, which is probably a better
Yeah.
film.
See-
Number two is probably better too. But
I-
Goldmember, the bits that are funny in
Yeah, very
Goldmember
funny.
I've got
are
a story about that.
the
Actually,
funniest shit in the
I got
world.
panned recently because we did a bit of a marathon on my Discord channel.
Yep.
Where we watched all of the Austin Powers movies.
Great marathon to
And
do.
I didn't want to. Because I don't really rate the
Dude,
first one.
The first one is arguably the best.
I don't know.
Oh,
but I
man.
said everyone said that they're their favorites,
They
and I
are-
said Goldmember was my
Goldmember
favorite.
is my
And
favourite
everyone
too.
in the server was like, "You are dreaming."
I have heard that take before, but if we're talking about consistent funniness in the Austin Powers movies, and I have watched them so many
Same,
times,
yeah.
so many times.
I had the Bali DVD
I
of
think
Goldmember.
number one, International Man of Mystery, is probably the most consistently funny joke-wise, joke to joke.
Also, Heather Graham. I had a huge.
Oh,
boner
now
for
Liz
Heather
Hurley for
Graham.
me. Liz Hurley for me.
What?
I
You
like
take
brunettes.
Hurley over Heather Graham.
100%.
You are-
100%.
you are kidding yourself.
Easily, any day of the week.
You are kidding
Any day of the
yourself.
week. And then number two, a little bit of a dip, but then Goldmember, the line graphs of what jokes work and what jokes don't is like, it is, there's some that are just complete misses, and then others that I cry.
Well,
I cannot stop.
there is a story about
rap
Austin
scene.
Powers.
Oh my God.
The prison rap
Incredible.
scene's
Yes,
great.
what's your story, Joel?
So, mum, shout out to mum. Love
Shout
you,
out
Mum.
Joel's mum. Yes, yes.
When I went to I think it was primary school, right?
Yes.
She got a phone call from the teachers one day because I had watched Austin Powers the night before.
Okay. Do you remember what year would you been like? Maybe like very early primary school.
Pre-primary would have been, what are you, like?
You're like 5 in
5 or
pre-primary.
6,
Yeah. Oh, you're so young.
So what I've gone in and said was I just decided to go to all the teachers and be like, oh, yeah, baby.
Oh no.
Mum got a phone call.
Oh, you don't want to be
Catholic
doing
school.
that.
Don't do that.
You got me too at age 5.
Yeah.
In-
Mum got a phone call like, oh, your son,
your son's being
yeah.
inappropriate.
We better wrap this up shortly.
We got the mailbag. Let's
Oh,
go.
I
Oh,
do-
your last film,
Should we-
Joel. Your last
Should we
film.
fold mailbag into the tips episode because we are going way over
I
here.
know this is the longest we've done.
Yeah.
Look, it's my bad for doing this film question, but
okay.
I've liked it.
We'll fold
I've liked
mail-
it.
we'll fold
We've got to
mailbag
wait
into
for
the tips.
Joel's last film. What is?
Step Brothers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
your best pick.
That
is
is
your best pick.
Yeah.
And look,
that's
Mr.
a banger.
Possum's back. Look at him.
Hello.
Where?
He's on the fence
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Look
You
at him
can
go.
set your watch by this bloke, can't you?
What?
He's the same time every
It's
week.
literally like
He comes to
7:30
see us.
every time. If you can't see it on the video.
at
There's a
him go.
beautiful
Hey,
possum
buddy.
that is on Corey's fence every time.
Hey, boy.
He's a frequent guest on the pod.
Oh, he's coming closer.
We'll get a photo of
He
him
wants
one day.
Michael Voss gone. We've just had an interview with
We'll
him.
take the mic over. What do you
Great.
think about Vossi, mate?
Great top 4 film. So could we go the mailbag in the next episode?
we'll
you
roll
reckon
it
then?
in because
So listen to in the next tipping episode. We will get the tips and the mailbag. So it'll be a special edition of the tipping episode. Thank you for listening. Barely touched him. Wrapping it up.
mad.